We have John Kuzma. He's a senior data center architect with Intel. John, thank you very much for joining us at DatacenterDynamics Phoenix.
Thank you.
John, give us a brief overview of Intel's data center infrastructure. How many facilities do they have? How big are they? And what are they used for?
Yeah, at Intel we have over 91 data centers right now for a total square footage of about 400,000 square feet. We have five different vertical applications that we use them for. One is design, one is office, one is for our manufacturing, one's the enterprise, and the last one is services. Of the 90 sole data centers we have, about 70 of them are what we call local data centers. We have about 4 or 5 global, and then the other ones are more regional type data centers. So it's more of a spoke and hub type of design that they're trying to achieve at the end of the day. But most of the local ones are to the point where we can't consolidate anymore. They need to be there for local presence, and therefore, they need to support the local business that's running them today.
So what is Intel doing to increase utilization rates of IT equipment in its data centers?
So we've been on a very aggressive virtualization campaign over the last 2 years. 2 years ago, we were at about 12% virtualized servers. At the end of last year, we ended up about 45% virtualized. And in another year or two, we're targeting about 75 virtualized servers. 75% of virtualized servers are going to be virtualized. The thing with our environment is 70% of our environment is engineering compute servers, and those are heavy utilized servers that can't be virtualized. So the only thing we do there to increase the efficiency is we end up refreshing the equipment faster when we see newer technology come out with lower power requirements and faster processing speed. So that means that those environments can actually run faster, and you don't need as much equipment to do it as well.
What portion of all Intel data centers uses economizers? And also, are you guys using air or water economizers? Do you prefer one or the other?
Yeah, I mean, today we probably have, I'd probably say about 10 to 15% of our data centers are using any sort of economizer today. It is a standard way we build new data centers. So that's, anything we roll out in the future will be with economizers. Whether we use wet or air side, it depends on where it's geographically located. So we've used both, actually, and depending on which situation we're in. So, and we found, depending on, if you're in an area which you have, higher gas particles, you might opt to go to wet side economizers. If you have areas that, that are fairly clean air, you go with air side economizers. So it really depends on the environment and the temperature of that environment as well.
Are you guys doing any upgrades to power and cooling systems in the data centers to increase efficiency at this point?
We're always looking at optimizing our facilities. So what we do typically is we look at the technology that's in the data center, and we look at the facility components, and we do an analysis to see which is the most economical upgrade we can do to make that data center more efficient. So whether it's upgrading power facilities or cooling infrastructure, or it might be a server refresh we might do instead, that might give us better savings at a less cost. So it really varies on every situation. So I'd say we're doing it proactively, but it really depends on the return on your investment on each one of the facilities. So each one has done separate analysis.
Are any Intel data centers experiencing power capacity shortages? And if there are, how is the company addressing those?
So that's where we get into some of the virtualization part of things that we're doing. I think we're addressing them either by looking at the technologies that are in there, what's causing the shortages, whether it's power cooling. We're always analyzing our data centers. We're always doing airflow analysis to make sure that they're running efficiently and there's no issues in the data center. Where we can actually, do some sort of containment, if that's an issue that we can address by doing that way, or whether it's upgrading a crack unit or upgrading a power facility, we'll do that as well. But typically we don't get to that point. Usually we try to stay within the envelope where we can address it in enough advanced time where we don't hit the cap of the data center. Yeah.
What effect is rising energy efficiency of server processors having on data center design and operation in general, not just Intel?
Yeah, so I think the way we see it is with the new features and advancements of technology that's coming out every year, every 2 years, looking at your environment and analyzing, legacy systems, and even some of your newer server technology you've implemented already, we feel that if you do some analysis and some cost savings analysis, that the extra efficiencies gained performance-wise and reduced power consumption-wise would way offset the TCO analysis you would do on those type of environments. So seeing that you can return on your investment in, say, 9 months or 12 months would be a great investment for something, that you could do, that can give you 4 or 5 years of a server lifetime.
John, thank you very much.
Thank you.